Welcome to Shujin Academy VGM Club. I'm Professor Tom, your faculty sponsor. Today's opening track is Nuvema Town from Pokemon Black and White for the DS, composed by Shota Kageyama. I don't know about you, but I've been pretty anxious for the past few weeks. There was a lot of tension surrounding the United States presidential election, and I do have a personal life outside of being a disembodied voice on this podcast, so yeah, I've been kinda tense. So for this episode, we're just going to try to relax with another entry in my Chilly McFreeze series full of laid-back songs with a calm vibe. This episode is a little less chiptune-y than a normal episode of the show. It just kind of shook out that way because of the feel I'm going for. Hopefully that's cool with everyone. If it's not, tune in next time for an episode that will surely be bleepier and bloopier than this one. I'm going for a VGM comfort food vibe from the show today. Every song, save one, is from a soundtrack that's been featured at least once before, and in several cases, the soundtrack has been featured multiple times. We're going to start off the first block with a track from my favorite composer, Nobuo Uematsu. It'll be Auron's theme from Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2. This is a character theme for Auron, who's a Ronin-coded older man that serves as a mentor for the rest of the game's party, and it's surprisingly laid back for such a badass character. Our second song is track 27 from arcade golf game Pebble Beach: The Great Shot. The composer for this one is unknown, but the game was developed by T&E Soft, who are known for making quite a few golf games with great soundtracks. If you like this, you can hear a lot more T&E Soft tracks on my 2 previous episodes devoted to golf game music. I'll drop some links in the show notes. Game franchises don't get much cozier than Coffee Talk, a visual novel series about running a coffee shop in a world that's similar to our own, but full of fantasy humanoid characters like orcs and merfolk and sirens and cat people. Both games in the series feature great lo-fi soundtracks from composer Andrew Jeremy. I've featured the Coffee Talk games before on my Chilly McFreeze episodes, and I'm revisiting the franchise once again with Need to Go Home from Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, a game that's available for just about every modern platform. I'm also looking forward to the release of Coffee Talk Tokyo, which should be coming out sometime next year. Song Roman numeral IV in the first block is Crystal Cave from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time and Darkness for the DS, composed by Arata Iiyoshi, Hideki Sakamoto, Keisuke Ito, Ken-ichi Saito, and Yoshihiro Maeda. This game has a foot in 2 different franchises. Obviously there's Pokemon, but there's also the Mystery Dungeon series, where you explore randomly generated dungeons. The Mystery Dungeon games are kind of roguelikes, and there are also Mystery Dungeon crossovers with the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy franchises, in addition to multiple original Mystery Dungeon games. I've already featured several songs from the Mystery Dungeon games in general, and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games in particular, so it's nice to revisit the series and its incredible soundtracks. Because I'm rolling around in my most beloved franchises today, we'll head to the show favorite soundtrack for multi-platform game Persona 5 for the 5th song. It'll be Have a Short Rest, composed by Shoji Meguro, and it's the song that plays in the save points you can find in the game's dungeons. To close out the block, I'm going to play a song from PlayStation JRPG Saga Frontier 2. The title of the track is Naturvolk, and it was composed by Square legend Masashi Hamauzu. Most of the songs in this excellent soundtrack have Germanic titles, which is either because Hamauzu spent the first few years of his life in Germany, or because the game has a lot of design elements from medieval Germany, or both. Time to bring on the chill vibes and start some music now. Those songs were Auron's theme from Final Fantasy X, track 27 from Pebble Beach The Great Shot, Need to Go Home from Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, Crystal Cave from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time and Darkness, Have a Short Rest from Persona 5, and finally, Naturvolk from SaGa Frontier 2. I'm going to start off our second music block with Everyday Life from Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, a game that I mostly know by way of the characters that appear in Smash Bros. Regardless, this is a lovely song from a very good soundtrack. Multiple composers contributed to it, including VGM legends like Yoko Shimomura and Yasunori Mitsuda, but this track came from Manami Kiyota, who's best known in VGM circles for her work on this franchise. There's a Nobuo Uematsu track in every music block today, and for the second song in the second block, it'll be World Map from Fantasian for iOS. Uematsu has announced that Fantasian will be his last full-blown soundtrack, although he does still plan on contributing songs here and there to games. I haven't played Fantasian because it's been limited to iOS devices since it was released in 2021, but it's coming to all of the modern gaming platforms in a few days, and I've got it pre-ordered for the Switch, so I've got something to look forward to. After that, it'll be In Dreams from Final Fantasy XV for modern platforms, composed by VGM goddess Yoko Shimomura. I actually had 2 tracks from Final Fantasy XV on my original list of songs for this episode, but I cut one of them to give some other soundtracks a chance to shine. You can look forward to hearing the song I didn't play today when I do the inevitable Chilly McFreeze 7 episode someday. Shifting gears from a massive franchise over to a somewhat smaller franchise subseries, the fourth song in the block is Val Ship from Super Famicom JRPG Last Bible 3, composed by Hiroyuki Yanada. I love this soundtrack. I think it's one of the 2 best soundtracks that Yanada composed in his brief time in the VGM world, with my other favorite soundtrack being his work on Jack Bros for the Virtual Boy. For the last song in the block, it'll be Spirit Potion from Cyberpunk Bartending Simulation Valhalla, a game that originally came out for the PC and then got ported to multiple other systems, including the much-lamented PlayStation Vita. This song was composed by David Nyman, and from my searching online, the only other game composing credit that he has is another track from Valhalla. Outside of Nyman's 2 songs, the rest of the soundtrack was composed by Garode. Let's hear some songs, shall we? Those songs were Everyday Life from Xenoblade Chronicles, World Map from Fantasian, In Dreams from Final Fantasy XV, Val Ship from Last Bible 3, and finally, Spirit Potion from Valhalla. It's time for a word from our sponsor. Today's modern world is hectic and stressful. What you need is a relaxing beach vacation at your very own timeshare in Costa del Sol, the crown jewel of Shinra Vacation Corporation's resort empire. At Costa del Sol, you can soak up the sun in our beautiful beaches, go for a restorative swim in our pristine ocean waters, or have a sailing adventure on a yacht. Yes, a Costa del Sol timeshare is an inescapable lifetime commitment that you definitely won't regret. Sign up to spend a huge portion of your monthly income on a Costa del Sol timeshare today.
Shinra Vacation Corporation timeshares are a lifetime commitment requiring monthly payments of 10,000 gil plus yearly maintenance fees. Actual location of timeshare may vary and may not include ocean views or even be located in Costa del Sol. Shinra Vacation Corporation may increase monthly payments or fees at any time, and available dates are subject to change without notice. Sign up for a Shinra Vacation Corporation timeshare today.
Now, back to the show. Today's final block of songs begins with Home Goldove from Chrono Cross, the PlayStation sequel to Chrono Trigger that was composed by Yasunori Mitsuda. This is a lovely, guitar-led track that sounds peaceful and safe, and surprisingly, it's only the second Chrono Cross song I've played on the show. Sticking with the guitar theme, Block 3's second song is What You Are guitar version from Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360, the third of 3 Nobuo Uematsu songs today. This is an alternate arrangement of one of the game's vocal tracks, and the version with lyrics is worth looking up if you're into JRPG theme songs. Sadly, Lost Odyssey is a bit of a lost game since it's never been ported to any system outside of the 360. Maybe one day we can get a Steam remaster or something. Moving on to the third song in the block, it'll be Meet and Greet from pixelated horror PC game Yuppie Psycho, composed by Garode. If you like this song, you should look Garode up on Bandcamp or YouTube or Spotify. Not only has he composed some outstanding game soundtracks, he's also released multiple original EPs that are worth your time. I'm particularly fond of his Passenger EP, which is full of cool instrumentals. I'll drop a link to his Bandcamp in the show notes. For the penultimate song in the block, we'll be heading to the Nintendo DS with A Fleeting Respite from Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, composed by franchise mainstay Michiru Yamane. The DS just celebrated the 20th anniversary of its North American release a few days ago, and Dawn of Sorrow was the first Castlevania game for the system. I've always been glad that the Castlevania series got so many cool exploration-based entries for portable systems. Maybe one day Konami will make another 2D Castlevania game instead of pouring out remakes and pachinko machines. Finally in the block, we're going from the DS to its successor, the 3DS, with Puzzling from Persona Q2, composed by Atsushi Kitajo. A few weeks ago, I visited fellow VGM podcast CRT Sound System for a deep dive into this game's soundtrack as part of their Shin Megami Tensei month, and if you want to hear me in a less formal environment than my show, you should check that episode out. I had a great time talking to hosts Tom and Reese about a variety of topics. Take a deep breath now, and let's relax with some chill tunes. Those songs were Home Goldove from Chrono Cross, What You Are guitar version from Lost Odyssey, Meet and Greet from Yuppie Psycho, A Fleeting Respite from Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, and finally, Puzzling from Persona Q2. That's the show. If you want to reach me, I'm most active on Blue Sky as shujinacademy.bsky.social. You can also find me on Threads, Tumblr, or Instagram as Shujin Academy VGM Club. I'm on Mastodon at Shujin Academy VGM Club at mastodon.coffee, and my username on Discord is Professor Tom. All episodes of the show are posted to my YouTube channel, which you can find by searching for Shujin Academy VGM Club. You can email me at shujinacademyvgmclub@gmail.com. Links to everything are available on my Linktree at linktr.ee/shujinacademy. Please leave me a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're finding this episode. New episodes are released once or twice a month, depending on how often I get them done, and they premiere on Thursday mornings on your favorite podcatcher and on 8beats.co, the internet's #1 game music radio station. My show is also featured on TerraPlayer, the cool app that's a destination for gaming podcasts and other content, so you can check me out there. If you're listening on Spotify, please be aware that they've pulled a few of my episodes before, so I'd strongly suggest you subscribe elsewhere to make sure you can get every single show. Special thanks for this episode goes out to fellow VGM podcaster Jameson of Bar Silence Podcast for contributing cover art. You can and should find Bar Silence wherever you download podcasts, and check out his website at barsilence.com. I've got one more song to play us out, and it's the only song on this episode from a game that hasn't been featured previously. It's Zen Garden from Plants vs. Zombies, a game that started out on Windows and Macs before being ported to a whole bunch of other platforms, and it was composed by Laura Shigihara. Thank you for listening. I'm Professor Tom, and I'll see you next time on Shujin Academy VGM Club.